Hey, everybody. Welcome
There
back
you
to
go.
Five Boys in Business. Hopefully you can hear us talking
Can
now.
you hear us, John?
Sorry, we had the glitch.
Technology was stupid. God.
There's 7-year-old
They call
Harrison coming
they
out.
call that the ghost in the machine.
That's right. Exactly.
You know, it's one thing when you have, like, you check in the machine, there's like, oh, there's bubble gum in this output. Of course it's not going to work. But the machines are perfectly fine. They're not working.
Well, I'm sorry. There was something.
Well, they're working
that they
now.
didn't like.
Oh, they're working now because I literally did nothing. I just exited out a bunch of times, restarted a bunch of things, whatever.
Well, that happened. And this is a related story. I was doing some work. I had been doing this thing for the bank, and I could not get it to work. And even the lady from the bank's like, I have no idea why this isn't working. And I went and I clicked on a menu. It opened, it expanded the menu, and then I clicked it again, and it shut it. And then I went to the end and hit proceed, and it proceed. She says, what? It's the stupidest thing ever.
I hate when technology does that, though. Like, just work. Like, I don't. Ugh. Like, one time, my PS4 Pro just stopped working. Out of thin air. Just done. I take such good care of my technology. I clean it so well. I opened it up, actually, no dust. I was like, wow, I'm pretty impressed with myself. So I opened it up, everything. I had to put together, I had to take things apart, put things together. Nothing. I couldn't find anything wrong with it. I just put it back together, started working again. I was like, whatever.
Who knows?
Anyway, we should talk about what happened.
Well, wait a minute. Let's welcome everybody to Branches Rants. So
What? Branches Rants? Well, that's a good segment. Wow.
There we go. Branches.
Rants.
Rants by branch.
With branch.
That's good. That's a
There
Rants
you
by
go.
branch.
Okay,
I'll
there
do
you
that
go.
every week.
There you go. That's a new segment.
So this weekend, you guys visited to St. Louis for Madeline's bridal shower.
we did.
We did. We went to St. Louis. Sam stayed at the house. And
The trip didn't start off great, though. I have to, and it's my fault actually, because Emily had requested that I book the rooms at this larger hotel in St. Charles. So I get on there, I was like, I was like, oh, that was easy, book. And I was looking, and I happened to look at my phone a few minutes later. I was like, ooh, that's for next weekend, not this weekend. So I had to back up, no rooms, had to cancel it. But we stayed. The place we stayed, the Drury Inn, was really nice. Yeah. Everybody was super nice, and it was cool.
we stayed on Market Streets or whatever they call it, which
Although
is.
I'm grading hotel rooms. Oh, we have to tell them the story about the room that we got.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, I booked this suite, right? I'm thinking it's a suite, you know, like we stayed at Embassy Suites before. It's got the bedroom and a separate sitting area. So I get there and the guy goes, "This is a one-off. The only one we have. You have a boardroom in your room." I was like, "What?"
I should send Johnny the picture of it.
Yeah, and I was like, "What?" And so anyway, we get up there and literally walk into the room and there's like a 10-person board table with the TV and like one of the screens you hit that comes down, you know,
That's
and then
funny.
the bedroom's behind it.
That's
so
funny.
it was funny. So we were laughing because of all our craps in there. It's just, you know, just us. I didn't.
Right.
So
Yeah,
anyway,
that
we get
was-
there and I thought it was hysterical.
That's funny.
Here, I'll send John. Here it is. Are you ready?
No, John, I'll send it to me.
Send it to you.
John, I'm gonna send it to my email. On my Gmail on Google Chrome. It'll be a tab. It's called ASVC email.
There you go.
And then I'll email it to you, and then drag the picture onto the desktop, and then just show it.
Although I will say I'm starting to grade hotel rooms based upon the kind of glass / cup they give you. And if they have plastic cups, it's a little subpar.
It's so funny. That looks like he's about to.
Yeah, I know.
get
I was
together
like,
an offer
let me
or
take a
something.
picture of you like you're getting
Yeah.
ready to do.
So you should see Mom and I the last night we were there. We were watching this Netflix show on my laptop, eating P.F. Chang's at the boardroom table.
That sounds amazing.
And they didn't give us any napkins at P.F. Chang, so we're sitting there using a washcloth from the
because
freaking
we were too lazy
bathroom.
to walk downstairs.
John, I just sent it to you.
P.F. Chang's was good though.
But the room was nice. It was in a good location. So, yeah. But
St. Charles is nice, a nice area.
I think for the wedding we want to stay at the Amerisuites.
Ameristar.
Ameristar. Yeah.
The place is ginormous.
Because it's right down there.
And the boat must be on the Missouri River because it's a casino.
Yeah.
I think all the casinos
There you go.
are actual boats.
Hit transition. It's in the middle.
So,
There it is.
as everybody knows, Johnny's behind the ones and twos over there learning the trade. So that allows Harrison to be on the couch. But there's the picture of
The boardroom.
the boardroom.
The boardroom,
That is so
hotel
funny.
room.
The boardroom / hotel room.
Which actually is kind of cool because if you're like doing training or something and you're like somebody's from out of town, I remember doing that. Not that, but something similar to that years ago. They'd invite us in for a day-long training session. You go to do that stuff.
Go to someone's hotel room.
There was a guy named Billy. There was a guy named Billy once when I worked at Norwest, and Dan Disson was up doing the training or whatever, and we were all watching him, and finally he goes, "Yes, Bill, you can go to the bathroom." Billy's back there going, "Can I go to the bathroom?"
Oh my gosh. But yeah, the bridal shower was great. We went to a winery in Defiance, Missouri, which I didn't realize
The
Defiance
shower
is
was
really
there.
cool. the
Was
shower, sorry, in Defiance, and they have a bunch of trails there, which looked really
Yeah, it was
cool.
really cool. Like decommissioned
yeah.
railroad tracks.
And the girls were so cute. Oh, that's there we were at. We drove
Montel.
after the winery. Then we drove after that winery. We drove up to another winery.
Montel.
That was called Montel, which is the kind of wine that everybody really likes in my family since Harrison brought it back or Madeline brought it back.
Yep.
And so,
John, go to the picture of Dad. The picture of Dad's funnier.
and this is where we're having the rehearsal dinner. So there's Dad.
Why's that funny?
I don't know. I was just expecting Mom to be there. So it's just Dad. It's
What's
just
Mom's glass of wine right there?
Yeah, no, well, that makes me know that Mom's there.
The view is amazing.
It's really cool.
That's funny.
So
that's
I'm
really-
super excited to have the rehearsal dinner there. It's going to be such a cool place to have it.
And the wine, it was really good because it wasn't. Even that, I think that was a reserve, like a reserve red that they let age a bit longer than the other ones in the barrel.
It's a very nice place.
But the wines are simple though. It wasn't like terribly complex. You
It's
walk
super
into the
nice
bar.
too because there's trees everywhere. You're shaded in a lot of the areas where you can see or sit. I'm excited to have the rehearsal dinner there. It'll be a good time.
We were laughing because we went out on the patio where we took that picture, and there was a dude sitting to the left of us, and he was smoking a cigar, and he had one of those buckets. Oh, we told this story last night. He had a bucket with the ice in it and 2 bottles of white wine, and this attendant was coming by and clearing off a table or whatever. So he takes one bottle out of the cooler and just kills it into this glass and throws the bottle. It's like, dude clearly killed a whole bottle of wine himself.
They had a band playing, which was fun.
Yeah, it was neat.
And yeah, it was neat. It was really, it was really cool. I could see why people go there on the weekends for different events. Like there at the first winery where we had the bridal shower. And there should be some pictures in there, Johnny, about the bridal shower.
There's a picture of the girls.
Is that you? That's not my. I'm just waiting for a call from Dr. Badelsky.
Oh, somebody's calling.
That's you though. That's not me.
I don't think
So,
I'll hop on
because interruption, we have a cat that has a corneal foreign body. So he has a sliver of grass that slid through his cornea, and it stops right at the limbus.
Wait, so it's not a thorn?
I don't think so. It looks more like a sliver of grass, almost like like one of those like tall grass, like the firmer grasses. It's what it looks like. It might still be a thorn. I don't know, but
how do you get it out?
you've had one of those? Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, grass-ons can do that. Foxtails, yes, Johnny, good job. And so it slid there, and so of course my first inkling is pull it out, And then so Dudley's like, "What do we do with this?" And we're like all talking cloud, Dudley and I. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna contact the ophthalmologist. So I contact Dr. Davis, and she's like, "Don't pull it out." And I was like, "Well, clearly our first instinct was wrong." She's like, "Flush it out. If you can flush it out, then you don't worry about the eye rupturing." And we're like, "Oh, the eye rupturing. That could be a problem."
Mm-hmm.
So I have another call into Badelsky to see who's another ophthalmologist to see if he can see it, because Dr. Davis can't see it if we can't flush it out. So anyway, I'm waiting for a phone call from Dr. Badelsky.
Okay.
So that's that.
So have you flashed the picture up there yet?
Oh, there's the girls. There's Madeline. Look how cute she is, and her sister, and then the other ladies that are going to be in the bridal party.
From left to right, it's Katie, which is my best friend Casey's fiance.
Yep.
Jesse, Katie's best friend, that is now slowly becoming Madeline's very good friend. Then it's Madeline, and then it's Kirsten, which is Madeline's sister, and then Haley, who is friends with Katie and Jesse, and now is becoming good friends with Madeline, and all of them, all the girls are bridesmaids.
Yep.
So.
Cool. Who's in your wedding party? I mean, who's in the
it is Casey, Trevor, Holden, John, you, and Matthew.
Wow. How's that gonna work?
And John, Madeline's dad, right? No. Yeah. No.
Actually, don't know.
Dad's not a groomsman.
Yeah, Dad. Well, hold on. You're not a groomsman. Sorry.
Sorry. Hate to give you that job and then
I'm
take
like,
it
all
away.
right. No, I don't care.
No, Dad's not a groomsman. No. I don't know why I said
Calvin's
that.
more of a ring bearer.
Calvin's walking down the aisle with this cute little 3-year-old who he's going to have a hard time controlling.
Right.
It's going to be hilarious because he's going to be like, I don't know what to do with her.
We need to let his hair grow out.
Cute.
Now that I think about it, we just shaved his head last night, so
we did give him a Harrison haircut.
We were going through all the gifts last night. We got a lot of stuff. we put out the butcher block set that we got last night, which beats the one that I had in there by a mile. You know what? You put that thing out there and it transforms that part of the countertop and it looks amazing.
Good.
And then we put out the toaster, which looks awesome.
Yeah, the toaster was hilarious. When I saw the toaster, I was like, oh my God, the toaster.
We've been wanting the 4-slot toaster for a while because we have this dinky, all the things that we have for applying, like in terms of the toaster, anything like that is from when I bought it while I was at the apartment.
Yeah.
So it's all just like this, like very short-lived, like just ugly stuff. And so we had this 2-slot red toaster that we would put away because it was so ugly after use. But now this one can just sit up on the countertop and hang out. I think we're going to put out the KitchenAid machine tonight. She got a ton of stuff for that KitchenAid machine.
Yeah.
Is it a mixer?
Yeah. Or the mixer, not machine. She got a separate mixing bowl for it.
Yeah, that's really cool. I need to get one of those.
She got a juicer attachment.
Yeah.
So all this stuff we need. It's so funny because she's saying, I'm like, okay, so we're gonna. I was like, that's awesome. We got mixing bowls. We can get rid of those other ones. She was like, well, we don't have to. I was like, no, we're going to. I was like, our house is not going to be filled with all this crap, you know. So,
oh gosh.
Well, it's funny because our fridge has like, let me think here. Our fridge has maybe 3 pitchers of water in there. I don't know why, but there's 3
pitchers of water.
Yes, because Madeline likes these pitchers. Okay, which bless her heart, she loves this vintage stuff. And it's a glass pitcher, so it's very special. So she got this pitcher from Andrea, her aunt.
Yeah.
And it's like a special pitcher where you can put special stuff in
there. It is.
There.
You can put lemons
like tea
and stuff in it.
And lemons and all that stuff.
It's very cool.
And so I'm like, great, we can put that in there and get rid of the glass one. She's like, well, no, that's the dog pitcher. I'm like, the dog pitcher. And she's like, yes, we pour the dog bowls for that. I'm like, we can't pour the dog bowls with anything else. She said,
what about the sink?
She said no. I was like, great. So we are planning on getting rid of a lot of our stuff. We're gonna either sell it, donate, or just throw it in the trash.
Just donate it.
With just already with the knife set and the toaster, we're donating that to Goodwill. So we're very excited to get rid of start putting in the new stuff. We're doing that next weekend. I got the Roomba from you guys as well. I'm pretty excited to set that up tonight.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Roomba, it's hysterical because, can I tell that story? About the text.
Oh, I'm sure.
From Madeline. Yeah. So anyway, she sends her a text and she goes, Harrison opened up you had a text you sent her and said, oh my God, look what we got.
It was so cute.
She goes, stop opening presents.
Well, she said all the things have come to her in her name.
Right.
So I thought I may have pre-ordered something that I didn't know, or like.
Oh no, I get it. I just thought it was funny.
Oh no, I know. But then she came home and I told her, she was like, you're just saying that. She said, have you ordered anything? I was like, well, not that I can think of. She was like, yeah. So you shouldn't have opened it. I was like, great. I was like, it doesn't matter. But
I'm sure that's the way it sounds. It's so funny. I'm sure that's not how she sounds.
Right,
you know?
Yeah. I probably make her sound much more harsh than she actually is. But we had a great time last night opening up the stuff. We opened it up on our patio, which, John, if you pull up the picture of the backyard, this is why if I look a little red, I was out doing this yard work yesterday. And I know it doesn't look like much, okay?
I don't know. I'm very taken with those two vertical posts there.
but I mowed the yard yesterday. I did the mulch edgings around the corners, which actually was very easy to do, and it was nice. I ended up I don't know if you can tell in the picture, but we ended up putting these lights hung on the posts to the house, and Madeline wanted to do them. She wanted to put them up. And I said, babe, we should really wait. I don't have the tape yet. I don't have the right stuff. And she said, no, I want to see them. I was like, all right. So we put them up with electrical tape, which I do not recommend. And
I still don't understand how that came apart.
Because there's so much tension on the line. Like, if if you have to have tension on the line in order for them to not sag and look droopy and derpy.
Okay. All right.
And so you have to pull the line taut enough to where people can walk underneath them. Casey can walk underneath them.
That's right.
You know, and so there was so much tension on the line that it just came apart because electrical tape isn't going to hold it together. So when that happened, I was getting ready to do the edgings, and then that happened. I heard 2 lights shatter, which sucked because I had to clean up the glass, and the patio's clear. It's like a very like grayish white,
Right.
and I could
Can't
barely
see
see
it.
any of the glass. Yeah, so I had to spend like I looked probably like an old man out there. I was just had the hand vacuum. I was like, where? It's like, where? So did that. I figured it out after like an hour. I figured out how to fix the lights, and I ended up. That's not a good picture. I ended up.
I mean, they're kind of droopy.
Well, yeah, but they look more droopy in that picture than they actually are. But
That looks good though.
You ain't gonna be able to cut much off of that fella.
But after an hour, I ended up just super gluing the extension cord together. And people are going to say, "Well, Harrison, that's bad. It could get into the it can get into the socket." Good for you. I did it on the outside. So
There you go.
Well, you'll know when it's raining out there and it goes.
exactly. I mean, I spent 6 hours out there doing all that stuff yesterday.
What are the lights on the
Yeah.
top of the roof?
That's Madeline's camera messing up.
Oh.
For some reason, it reflects off of the
that's
camera.
interesting.
Yeah,
That's cool.
It's something wrong with her camera. But
Now
yeah,
your grass even looks good.
the grass looks phenomenal.
How long does it take you to mow that yard? About 10 minutes.
That yard, it takes me like 45 minutes.
Huh?
I have a whole side yard.
It's got the side yard.
Jeez. All right.
It probably takes honestly as much as your yard.
No.
Yeah, it does.
No.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Dad doesn't know what he's talking about. He hasn't mowed the yard in God knows how long.
True.
Trevor does it.
But
So,
I
yeah,
have,
your
I
mind
have
is
spatial
skewed.
awareness.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh. Well, you guys have done a lot. It looks really
Yeah, it
good.
does look good.
Yeah, I think that we were going through the rest of the things that we want to do. We need to stain the fence and the post. We're staining the post next weekend to make sure that we've made the right decision on our color of stain. And then we are, we have to, I want to replace the fan finally in the living room that broke on arrival when moving in. And then
That's what usually happens.
And then I want to replace 3 of those dome lights around the house.
Oh, like on the ceiling?
Yeah, me and
Yeah.
Madeline call them boob lights. So we're just going to replace the boob lights.
It's on the ceiling.
Yeah, you know, they're the dome that just sits.
It's the light that you had to
Oh,
fix
oh.
when I walked in
Right.
there and I pressed the light and it just fell because
got it.
the Remo box melted. Remember that?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
They actually put the one in the kitchen. That was that wasn't original, I don't think.
no,
Or somewhere where it was like it's not. Oh, I remember. Where was it? What was the hallway? The foyer, wasn't it? We replaced that because we pulled it out in the box. It's like they used too big of a bulb in here.
oh,
the box.
that was the front. That was the front door area.
Right.
They used too high wattage of a bulb,
like 100 watt or
yeah.
something.
I feel like a lot of people are in, you know, that mode of getting stuff done.
Well, it's
and-
funny because usually I look back on like last year, the big thing was the fence. Like 2020 was the fence. We got the fence done for us, for the dogs. It was great. It's great. This year it's a lot more stuff, and I'm pretty excited
Oh,
about
it
it.
only gets more.
We have the patio that's become this whole thing. We're planning on getting countertops done, and just press the top button. No. you
Say,
press
how
it.
can I help you?
How can I help you? We are not.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
Down here, down here. Say, hey, how can I help you?
Hey,
Well,
John just went into panic mode.
John
for a
went into
second.
panic
He's
mode.
like, hello, we are on the podcast.
We're on air.
But the last thing I think we're going to do at the very end of the year is countertops, which I'm pretty excited for. Casey and Kate are getting countertops done right now, and their experience makes me a little timid. But
you're not doing any of the work.
well, yeah, I know, but the fact that they're just having a lot of trouble, and they're going through Menards, like they've gone through.
That's why they're having a lot of trouble.
They've gone through 1 or 2 templates right now, or so far, and none of them have fit properly. They can't reach anybody to come out.
Yeah.
and
Okay.
make
This
sure
is the
they
thing.
fit.
This is the thing. Some of those places, and unfortunately, I get why they do it. They
Dad,
want
push your microphone a little bit farther back.
they.
Farther
back?
Yeah, there you go. Right there.
I mean, sometimes when you go through the big box places for certain things, I haven't gone through Menards, but my experience at Lowe's has been pretty good. But a lot of times, they try and be everything to everybody. It's really hard.
Well, they said they went through Menards because the prices for wood are so expensive everywhere else. Like, or because they're getting countertops like ours now.
What are you
So,
getting? Solid surface?
We're getting quartz.
Quartz. Yeah.
So, but they said that the wood prices were so expensive at Lowe's, third-party people, third-party companies. So,
You don't have that much linear, your kitchen for sure.
no, but with the countertops, we're not just getting the countertops. When I say countertops, I mean We're getting the countertops. We're getting the backsplash done.
Oh,
We're getting
okay.
the sink. Like it's
Right,
all
right,
this.
right.
It's all this stuff that we're going to use. I think a majority of the wedding money for. To
Solid service, man. You won't go wrong.
There you go.
I know, and it was so funny because a lot of the appliances, a lot like the butcher block set, the KitchenAid mixer, the toaster. It's all white. It's all like this very white grayish, and so we're planning on getting like a white countertop. It's gonna look so good.
Just FYI to anybody out there that's getting new or solid surface or really any kind of countertops, if you have a cabinet door and you attempt to fix it on your solid surface, don't.
Okay. Good to know.
Don't ask me how. I know.
Yeah, Dad probably chipped the countertop.
Oh, I didn't just chip it.
He broke it. What, that happened recently?
Yeah, I was downstairs and I had 2 screws because I went downstairs and one of the cabinet doors in the basement was like, I was like, God dang it! So I took it over and I put it on the bar.
Oh no!
And I put it on the bar. I clamped it to
Yeah.
the bar and I put 1 screw in there. It went fine. The second screw, I was like, that doesn't sound right. Pull. I was like, oh no.
So there's like a chunk of the countertop missing.
No, it's just like this big, like somebody took a screw to the big thing.
Oh no, that's bad.
I was like, I didn't like these countertops anyway.
I can only imagine Dad just drilling, being like, "This is going in a little bit harder than I think."
You know me. I mean, I try and be very precise, and I was pissed because the door was broken. I'm like, everything's broken around here. As you're getting your house done, mine is getting destroyed.
Oh, that's funny.
With
Well,
the
my
hardwood
house,
floors thing, and now the basement leaked, and I had that. It's like, what else is gonna happen?
I still need to figure out the floor problem. I told that story a few weeks ago on the podcast where we thought the furnace was leaking onto the floor, and now we put down the rug again. The rug was wet again, so now we're trying to figure out if it's just residual water or if it's something.
Well, I will tell you, if you had any water down there, it won't dry on its own. It's gonna have to wick out because there's no way for it to breathe.
Yep.
So I mean, and that's what I was saying yesterday. You're gonna have to call somebody to take up a section of that floor, and just then you'll know for sure where the water's coming from.
And the good news is that I have enough of the material, I think, in order for them to just use that stuff and then just place it down.
Right.
Because I think that the area that I want taken up is so small that the stuff that they left over, I don't even have to pay for any more of that stuff. They
Right.
can just place it down, which would be pretty inexpensive, I think.
Yeah.
Hopefully. But we're just leaving it for the week to see what happens, and then we're going to place down more paper towels, see if it's still wet, which I'm assuming it probably will be.
I will tell you though, it gets to a point with homes where you feel like you're. I mean, not your place, but I mean certainly our place where you're just redoing things.
Well, this is the first problem where I'm like, God, this.
No, but I'm
needs to
saying
go
that's
away.
just the theme. It's things
just-
break.
I know.
mean, unless
It's
it's a brand new house, and even then things
I would
break.
understand if the furnace was older, like 2004 or 5, but it's 2017, and I'm about had it.
Yeah, but see, some of those homes, man. I mean, they throw them up so fast. I mean, some of those. I remember talking to an HVAC guy once. He said,
no, the furnace is a replacement furnace.
"No, but I'm saying though, just in design, the way they put those things together, like the utility, they cram so much
Yeah, the
stuff in
laundry
the
room
square
is-
footage.
I'm surprised because Katie and Casey's laundry room is much bigger than our laundry room.
Hmm.
It's like twice the size. You can actually walk in there, get behind the furnace, see what's going on back
Right.
there. I don't
But yeah, that's a drag. And then now a lot of the newer homes, I mean, it's like your parents' house. Everything is open. I mean, all the utility in the utility room is you can walk around it. You can do whatever you want. So,
Yep.
but yeah, that's the tough part about older homes like that, because you just run into issues, mechanical and otherwise. Roofs, big things are roofs, HVAC,
Windows.
and probably windows and plumbing.
Well, our windows are brand new, so those are covered. Our roof
Are
is
they really?
brand new, so yeah, they're brand new the year we bought them. So the windows are brand new. The roof was brand new. That was put on before we moved in. The HVAC is good as far as I know. The plumbing, I don't know. I'm assuming all the others are fine, but I know for sure the roof and the.
I shouldn't say plumbing. I'd say in terms of destructiveness, plumbing is one of the worst things.
I was actually going to say, do you remember that?
And crack foundations. Don't ask me.
do you
I know about
remember
too.
that?
Speaking of plumbing and water intrusion.
Do you remember that pipe to the left of the fridge that kept leaking down the wall? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Because it was happening with the sink. Like the sink happened. I had to cap the sink. Remember that?
Yes.
And then we went to I discovered at the next to the fridge, we just kind of left the pipe open because the new fridge doesn't have an ice maker, or it doesn't have.
Oh, you couldn't turn it off.
Right. So
The fitting was bad.
So I turned it off. Yeah, but it wasn't all the way.
Right.
I couldn't, so I capped it. Do you think that capping it is
It'll hold it.
Okay, I was gonna say the cap can't be causing the leak. There's no way.
No, I don't think that. Well, that's a long way away.
Yeah, I know. So there's no way. I
I
just
mean,
didn't know.
you'd have water in your kitchen.
Yeah, you're right.
It's coming from the outside. I think it's 3 places. It's coming from your furnace. Well, 4. Furnace, the bathroom that backs up to that room, the outside, or from under the slab.
Press the top button. The top. Yes.
And my guess is that some of that. I mean, who knows? But my guess is that you have residual water under there or something. Although if you still have water like a month from now, something's wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's why I say that you're not going to figure it out till you pull the floor and look at the slab and go, this is where it's coming from.
I know, but knowing our situation, we're going to pull it up and be like, yep, it's where it was coming from. It's just not dry. And we're just going to leave it there and let it dry.
Well, but you got to do that anyway. It won't dry on its own.
I know.
I mean, if you left it there for 10 years, it would.
And the seams are so small that I would assume that if it were to dry on its own, it would take a while. So
there's just nowhere for it to breathe out.
I'm just going to have them come, which honestly isn't that big of a deal.
One of the funniest stories of our house that we're in now was, I don't remember. I think you were in the utility room before we finished the basement exercising. You're on the elliptical or the bike or something. And it was raining like hell outside. And you go, oh, you come running. You're like, oh, my God, there's water, squirting out of the foundation. Because there's a crack in the foundation where we had it fixed. Right. And the previous owners tried to fix it with tar, which doesn't work. You fix it from the inside.
No, I was down in the utility room putting something away. It was after the basement was finished.
And then we had to. That's why I put that channel in.
Yeah,
that channel is so.
Well, it's gone now, but I mean, but I had to put a channel there in case it leaked again.
It was so funny though.
Yeah,
oh, man.
And it was coming out like
squirting
out.
Well, because the pressure, it goes, and it's just. So then we had a guy come in. This is years ago. I had a guy come in and he fixed it, and it actually hadn't leaked since.
There's a very, very, very small crack in the foundation on the outside. It's just like you really have to find it.
You're on a slab though, so you don't have to worry about that stuff. In fact, if I were to build another house, I think, honest to God, I would just build a sprawling thing on a slab and never have to worry about a basement ever again.
That might be the way to go.
I like having a basement.
I mean, I like having a basement too.
Although
I did like having a basement.
If I were to build, I would probably have them overbuild it. Like Homes on Homes overbuild it, so that if there ever was a crack, he did this thing once years ago on this Canadian show. This lady had a problem where the foundation was cracked or it was blocked or something, and they dug around the whole foundation down to the drain tile, and then they put this spray kind of sealant on it, like a few millimeters thick, and then they went back over that with waterproof fabric. So I was like, even if the foundation were to shift, although his show is hysterical. Remember the episode where they put the fence around this little dinky track home? Yeah. And I go, the freaking fence is worth more than the house. I mean, because they dug these concrete footings. I'm like, good God. Right. So, great show, though.
Yeah, that's funny. I was scrolling through Twitter this weekend, and...
That was your first mistake. Go ahead.
Well, yeah. And Boston Dynamics was trending. And... Boston Dynamics, for those who don't know, is the company who does the robots, the ones that can, jump and
the robotic dogs,
the robot dogs. They can catch things, whatever. John, if you want to pull it up here, it's called. Look on YouTube and pull up Boston Dynamics. Do You Love Me? And it's these two Actually, I'm just gonna let you watch it because all I'll say is that
they're creepy though.
It's the robots dancing.
Okay.
So you can look at it and see. It's super funny though.
Well, have you seen?
Look up Boston Dynamics. Do You Love Me?
Have you seen the robotic dog where they go and they kick it and you can't turn it over? Yeah. It's creepy.
Yeah.
Why do they? What is the application?
It's the first one.
Well, they're going to use the robot dogs, I think, for police work and stuff.
Okay, now go to the beginning. Yeah, now full screen it. No, full screen the video. There you go. So is it playing? There you go. So. It's dancing to
sound.
John, unplug your headphones. Play. Or
ooh, creepy.
Plug back in your headphones.
That's really creepy. Hello.
It's fine. There won't be any sound. But let me look up the.
So he's getting ready to dance?
Yeah, I'll pull up the song. So it's dancing to.
That is so weird. These things are going to kill us all.
No.
That's the song.
No, it's not. Hold on.
That's like a real human. That's so bizarre.
So it's dancing to this.
Yeah, that one.
Oh my God.
I actually think I went to the exact point in that video.
Look at the dog. You know what's
Is that crazy?
Why they look so real is their joints. They have more joints, so it makes it look more fluid.
Yeah.
And their movement with their joints is more like 360.
Yeah.
That is creepy as hell.
Look at that. Holy crap.
That is so creepy.
It's so funny.
That's terrifying. What is that thing?
It's not just all these robots. It's just a compilation of these robots dancing. It's hilarious. It's so funny because these robots are probably like a couple $100,000 each.
Look at the
That's
dog.
it?
They're just dancing. Oh, they might be more expensive.
More than that. So what are they? So just you're more of a techie. So what are they going to do with these things?
Well, I think the application for the dog thing would be like police settings. You send a dog in instead of a person.
I don't know. I'm not sure for like the more person-looking or the more human-looking robot. I'm not sure if they're trying to.
I'll tell you what they're going to do.
I don't
Walmart's
know.
already doing this. Not that, but they've got robots that go up and down their aisle.
Right. Yeah.
And they will tell when the stock is low, and that'll tell then somebody to take that stock out instead of a human walking. You'll see these things, and they're like scanning the.
Yeah.
And I go look at this stuff, and I go, the more you were going to talk about the Great Resignation, but as you have human capital becoming more and more scarce, these kinds of things. The capital outlay for that is it becomes more attractive.
It's funny because all these people on Twitter, they'll comment like, "Oh my God, like Skynet's happening. Like they're gonna become sentient. We're all gonna die." I'm like, guys,
that's a different subject.
Well, yeah,
but, I mean,
first off, like that's
like AI stuff.
That's like they're not even close to that. They're literally just giving these robots commands through programming, and that's what they're doing right now.
But I think now Elon Musk has said though that's like evil. I mean, don't underestimate.
Oh, I don't
AI,
know.
and I mean they're like don't do it because once you do it and unleash it, you can't undo it.
In a way, what's even scarier than that is the Facebook algorithm, or like the Facebook algorithm is more, and the Twitter algorithm or any social media algorithm is way scarier than that.
How
because
so?
those things are more sentient than that.
But you can unplug from that.
Well, I mean, they've said that the algorithm has gotten so big and has made so many decisions and it has become so not self-controlling. That's not the right word. But they don't even know like a lot of the decisions that the AI is making for this algorithm.
That is weird.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
It's like they can't keep up. There's so many things that it's doing that they can't keep up. So they don't even know what it's doing.
That's what's frightening is the tipping point.
Exactly.
When you have the tipping point where you can't control, and that's the whole Skynet. What was this? Wasn't it Skynet?
So
that's the whole Skynet thing.
So what they say is that if they were to unplug, they don't know what they would be unplugging.
Right. That's like the Matrix stuff where you unplug it, but it doesn't unplug.
Exactly.
They find other sources of power.
Yep.
That was that whole thing. What was the Johnny Depp movie? Remember the Lucy, that movie where it's like, it doesn't matter. Like your intelligence gets so great that it's unstoppable and you become one with the machine, basically.
It's weird though.
And who knows? But that stuff.
I think that companies are looking for alternatives to humans because humans don't want to work. So, I mean, a large percentage of them.
Well, I mean, and the cost. I mean, you look at like that function, right? We were driving back from St. Louis. I was looking at all the truck drivers, and I thought, you hear about all the self-driving technology from a freight standpoint, and I thought, once you dial that in, all these people are out of work. I mean, this huge swath of the American population who have to figure out a new skill set, something, because all of a sudden now the freight amounts are lower, but they can run 24 hours.
Yeah.
Because they're all unmanned, and you don't need to even, they're doing that now even with the self-driving trucks where they'll go to a hub and then a human will take over and take it into the hub, but they're going cross country with nobody in the truck. And that's really that's what's coming with the self-driving stuff with Tesla and all this other stuff, the battery tech.
Well, I think with the robots using them as things that you can, do you know what I mean? Like making things or.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
They don't make, and the error rate. I mean, the guy was talking about self-driving tech for Tesla has a primitive form of this, but how it'll be insurance companies that really push that. They'll say you can drive a traditional car, but it's going to cost you 3 times as much for us to insure it, versus you take a self-driving car that makes no mistakes ever. And because they're they don't have human emotions.
Or I think in manufacturing. Like, I think they're already using them in manufacturing.
Oh, sure.
But then you need people to man the robots so that, like, because they'll go offline or they'll do whatever.
Maintenance.
And so then you have people they learn that used to work on the line, but now are.
God, but how many fewer people, though?
Oh, there's got to be fewer people, I would think.
I mean, a tenth?
5th?
But,
yeah. It's,
those.
I don't know. We were laughing about the thing, that Great Resignation thing that was on.
Yeah, was that Twitter or was that an article? I can't remember.
It was an article, but I think it's on Twitter.
Speaking of algorithms, that's weird because
TikTok. Maybe it's. I don't remember which one.
But they were talking about how a lot of people. I mean, it wasn't just someone speculating. It was Indeed, Monster, and I thought one other one. Well, they've said that they see a trend coming in the fall where everybody's going to start to resign after they burn up all of their vacation, everything during the summer. And did you find it? And how that's going to exacerbate the already difficult labor shortages we have now, because they're like these professional people can have whatever job they want at this moment because they don't. Why not?
Isn't there something like 8 million jobs available, 9 million jobs or something?
Something
stupid?
insane. I mean, something they can't fill it.
Yeah.
They can't fill it from entry level all the way to. Well, I mean, Harrison has friends that have very professional had very professional jobs. Just said, "I'm out. I'm not doing it anymore. I'll go find something else."
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. You think, how do you? Because you look at, some of this, comp's not an issue because your comp's through the roof. I mean, you're working a lot. You're building a skill set, and they still can't keep people.
Yeah.
I mean, they got $20 an hour in some of these places, these fast food joints. They can't hire people.
Speaking of jobs, I don't know if this relates to it or if this is just how it's always been, but Holden started his valet job and is making $20 an hour.
Yeah. $20 an hour to park cars.
I was making $9.50 an hour.
Well, you know what sucks though is that, I mean, and this is what's sad, is that people go, "Oh, that's crazy." Labor is one of your biggest expenses, and if that goes to $20, guess what? You're gonna have to charge a lot more to maintain margin. So people talk about transitory inflation. I don't think so, man.
I don't think people understand their, bump the wage to the minimum wage to $15 an hour. Well, someone's paying for that wage,
right?
And it's usually the consumer. But the consumers are typically the people that are the hourly people. I mean, it ends up biting them in the butt.
Yeah, that's why the whole minimum wage thing is always stupid.
Well, the main problem is that they look at these big corporations like McDonald's. McDonald's has gobs of money. Like, who even knows, right? And if you look at the wage, if they bring up the wages to $15 an hour, well, like you said, they have to charge more, and customers might not want to buy
a burger for $5.
Yeah, exactly, and so the dollar menu goes away. So
no, but I mean, the problem is this though: you have so few, and this is what always cracks me up. They always trot out these guys that are 35 years old and they're working at McDonald's and have for a decade. I'm like, what are you doing? That job is meant for you to attain a certain base skill set for you then to go take somewhere else. There's a reason the 60-year-olds start there and they're out by the time they're 18. They go do something else. Right. Those jobs aren't meant to be, they're entry level by definition. So you're there to hang out and build it and then go somewhere else. No one, I don't want to get on a political soapbox, but no one forces people to stay there.
I know, but I do think that
and such a small sliver of the population actually makes minimum wage. It's like 0.1%. But then they'll say, well, you need to pay people this particular whatever arbitrary wage. And you go, well, why not make it $50 an hour? Because if 15's good, make it 100. Why not do that? I mean, that's my problem with the whole thing is it's a political argument at that point and not an economic argument. Because that's really, if you wanted people to have, you would go do like what this guy did, the point of sale place. He said minimum salary at this company is $80,000. And people making $90,000 are going, what? Wait a minute. Sally over here was making 35. Now she makes 80. Do I get a 100% raise?
Right.
And then people left in droves. The professionals are like, I'm out of here. I'm not doing that.
Right.
And his company took a crap. And you go, that's the problem with that stuff is that, I don't know. I think that, anyway, didn't mean to go.
So we're on to Richie's rant.
Sorry.
So we've had Branch's rants and now Richie's rants.
I think a lot of the thing is that the people that work at those jobs at places like McDonald's that stay there for a while, they don't have the drive to go.
Yeah, but that shouldn't be the government's fault.
Well, exactly, and it's not the government's fault, but some people think that it is. So,
well, I mean, the true minimum wage, and I'm stealing, is zero. I mean, the true minimum amount that is zero, and I think the problem that you have is that the more the government mandates some of this stuff, and what they're really arguing for is purchasing power, an increase in purchasing power to a base level. Well, then that's great, but then if your purchasing power goes up, but then the people have to pay, the corporations have to pay for it, prices go up. It's kind of like when they had rent moratoriums in New York City in the 70s. They said, well, you can't charge more than $1,000. Now rent overnight went to $1,000 because they're like, why?
Casey actually told me, he said rent prices have gone up 8% since June.
I don't doubt it.
Anyway, to get off this topic, to end the podcast, because Mother has to go real quick.
Yes.
A few weeks ago told you how Madeline, what'd she say? Madeline The 2-story house. She said.
Yes.
She said, "Hey, listen,
Hey,
I'm
open.
I want a 2-story house in the basement." And I said, "Why?" And she said, "Well, because we need to separate the kids from the." And I'm like, "Oh, right, okay."
Yes.
You mean the thing that I told you 2 years?
No,
ago?
yeah, you have to give backstory
Anyway.
about what the backstory that is.
Right. And so
Because you tried to convince her, right?
So when we were buying a house, I tried to convince her. I told her this. I said, "Listen, we can afford it right now. If we bought a 2-story house, we can separate the children upstairs. They can sleep while we can watch a show or have friends downstairs without them being disturbed, right?" And so she said, "No.
Well,
Like,
that's because she grew up with a ranch, and
no,
it worked for their family.
Well, Dad said to give backstory, so I'm giving backstory, and I completely understand. It was fine. Like we got the house we got, and it's perfect. But on this note, okay, Madeline, we're sitting in bed last night. Let me paint you a picture. I'm sitting in bed. I'm scrolling through Twitter, and she says, "Harrison, my neck has just been killing me." I'm like, "What's going on?" She says, "Well, it's my pillow." I'm like, "Oh, okay, like, well, I told you. I mean, I told you to get a new pillow. You know what I mean?" She's like, "Well, I think I want yours." And I was like, "Oh," I was like, "You want my pillow?" And backstory again. I bought this pillow. It was $80, okay? It's a super nice foam pillow because I was having the same problems as Madeline. Yeah. I told her, I said, "My neck is killing me. I'm not getting good sleep. I'm buying this pillow. I know it's expensive, but it's going to be so worth it." Ever since then, I've slept so well, okay? It's been a dream come true. And now when I bought that, she said, "You're spending $80 on a pillow?" I said, "Well, yeah, because I think it's going to be worth it." And she said, "That is ridiculous. I can't believe you're doing that." And I said, I don't know what you want me to do." She's like, "That is so ridiculous." I said, "Okay." And so it was funny that she came to me last night and said, "I want your pillow." I was like, "Oh, really?" And then as soon as
$80.
As soon as she said
slightly
that,
used.
As soon as she said that, I said, "Well, I told you so." She's like, "Listen, Harrison." Word for word. She said, "Listen, Harrison, I don't want to hear 'I told you so.' It was really hard for me to just say that right now." And so I said, "Fair enough." So now I got to buy her the pillow that I'm using, and she is gonna love it,
and she
just as much as I do, because it is
buy your dad one while you're at it.
I was about to say, because my neck's been killing me.
It's a foam pillow. It's fantastic. And they even, when you buy it, they even give you extra foam in case, I don't know, like the foam.
Are you a back sleeper or a side sleeper?
I'm an all kinds of sleeper. I'm an all.
You know how I don't sleep anymore, and I haven't for years, is on my stomach. Ever.
I
used to love to sleep on my stomach.
It sucks with my arm because I used to. So I will sleep on my back the majority of the time, mainly because that is the best. Like, that's the fastest way I fall asleep.
Right.
But the most comfortable way for me is probably on my side, but I can't do that right now, and it's unfortunate because the most comfortable side is my left side.
Right.
And then I'll usually sleep on my stomach if I just need to, like, switch things around, like if I'm just too uncomfortable on my back or whatever.
Do you ever, like, go to sleep? I remember this happened years ago. You go to sleep on your stomach, and you wake up and both arms are asleep, and you're just like,
well, sometimes. Well, that's happened to me so many times. Especially, it hasn't happened recently.
It's like dead weight.
In high school, I'll be sleeping on my arm, and it'll just be dead weight, and I'll just be like flinging it around, like. But yeah,
Your mom and I are asleep. We never do this, but I fell asleep like on my arm over there, and I wake up like an hour later. And she just, I was like, "What'd I do?"
It's so funny because sometimes I haven't done it recently. Actually, maybe like a few months ago, but sometimes I'll just wake up like tickling my arm. I don't know what it is. Like,
you'll wake up.
Yeah, I'll just wake up like with my arm literally above my head, and I'm just. I'm just doing that. I'm like, "What the heck?" So I'll put it back down. It's funny, yeah.
Oh gosh.
You guys don't drool a lot while you sleep, right?
Not usually.
I think I have a problem. I drool a lot. I think I just have more. I think my salivary glands just exceed other people's salivary glands.
Maybe so.
Because I'll be sleeping and I'll just wake up and there'll just be like a pool.
There's nothing worse than waking up and you're going, flip your pillow over.
It's and I've kind of made a joke out of it because sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, I'll be talking and I'll just like drool. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. So like I'll make a joke with Madeline. At night I'll be like cuddling her and I'll lick my tongue and then like place it on her hair. I'm like, "Oh babe, I totally just drooled on her hair." She's like, "Ew!" It's like, "Oh, that's so gross."
All right, everybody. We're going to wrap it up there with Drool.
5 Boys in the Business plus HBK.
Don't forget, you can catch us most Mondays somewhere around 11 to 11:30, and you can always listen on any of the podcast channels. So we will see you guys next Monday. I'm Emily King.
I'm Richie King.
I'm Harrison King.
And John back there behind the ones and twos. Everybody have a great week. We'll see you next time.
We're out.